The rain soaked through my thin maternity dress as my clothes flew past me onto the muddy lawn. "Get out! You lie to the wrong son." My mother-in-law, Patricia Rothel, stood in the doorway like a judge delivering a sentence, her perfectly styled hair untouched by the storm. "Did you think we wouldn't find out? That you could trick my son with someone else's child?" I pressed one hand to my 8-month pregnant belly, steadying myself on the poor railing. "Patricia, please, you don't understand." "I understand plenty." She hurled my laptop bag next and I went as it hit the ground. The paternity test came back. "That baby isn't Ryan's. You tried to manipulate your way into this family." Behind her, Ryan stood with arms crossed, his face unreadable. My husband of 2 years, the man who once said he'd stand by me through anything, watched this unfold in silence. "Rhiannon," I pleaded, "tell her, you know this isn't. The test doesn't lie, natally." His voice was cold. 52% probability. "That's not my child." "That's because you weren't honest." Patricia cut in. "I warned him this would happen. You're not one of us." She wasn't wrong about one thing. I wasn't from a family like theirs. I grew up in a small town, earned a scholarship to Columbia, and believed fairy tales were real when Ryan Rothwell proposed. His family owned half of Manhattan's skyline. They vacationed in the Hamptons, wintered in Aspen, and I thought love would be enough. Mrs. Rothwell, Rosa, the housekeeper, appeared behind her, concern on her face. "Please, Miss Natalie is pregnant." "Lorraine, it's dangerous." "You're not to interfere," Patricia said sharply. "In fact, Paul security. I want her gone in 5 minutes." I bent to grab my bag, but the motion made me dizzy. 8 months pregnant, no coat, no place to go. My family was 1,000 miles away in Ohio. My credit cards were tied to Ryan's accounts. My phone was part of his family plan. In 2 years, I had become completely dependent on them. "Please," I said again, my voice catching. "Just let me explain." "Explain what?" Ryan stepped forward. "How you kept secrets. How you tried to make this something it's not. I want a divorce, Natalie. My lawyers will be in touch." He actually smirked like this was a victory. "You never wanted this baby," I said quietly. "You scheduled 3 consultations without telling me." His face darkened. "That's not. You said it would get in the way of your promotion. That your mother would be furious if I got pregnant before you made partner." Patricia's eyes narrowed. "Ryan, what is she talking about?" "She's just trying to turn us against each other," he said. "You know how some people are always with a sob story. A sob story. That's all I was to them now. Not the woman who stayed up helping him prep for case reviews. Not the one who supported him through panic attacks before client meetings. Just someone to be written off." Security arrived. 2 men in black jackets who looked more suited to guarding a nightclub. "Ma'am," one said, not unkindly, "we need you to leave the premises." I nodded, trying to keep my composure. I picked up my scattered clothes, stuffing the soaked garments into a suitcase. My laptop bag was probably ruined. 2 years of work on my novel gone. But that felt like the least of my losses. Then a car pulled up. A Bentley Mullen, sleek and untouched by the chaos. This wasn't just wealth. It was something rare. Power? The driver's door opened and a man stepped out, black umbrella in hand. I knew that silhouette. "Going somewhere?" Alexander Othwell asked, his voice slicing through the rain. Patricia froze. "Alexander, what are you doing here?" The prodigal son, the one who walked away from the family empire to build his own. The one who never came home for holidays, who sent cards signed by an assistant. The brother Ryan pretended didn't exist while secretly devouring every article about him in Forbes. Hello, mother. He walked forward with quiet precision, evicting pregnant women in the rain. That's a new low even for you. This is none of your business, Patricia said, but her voice had lost some of its edge. Alexander had that effect on people. She cheated on your brother. The paternity test shows 52% probability that Ryan is the father. Alexander interrupted, which, if any of you understood basic genetics, is exactly what you'd expect for a half-uncle relationship. The umbrella tilted, and I finally saw his face. Sharp cheekbones, storm gray eyes, a mouth that looked like it rarely smiled, but was devastating when it did. He looked at me for a long moment, something unreadable in his expression. Hello, Natalie. Alex, I whispered. Patricia's face went white. What are you saying? I'm saying, Alexander said calmly, that Ryan can't be the father because I am. That's my baby she's carrying. Patricia's knees buckled. She actually collapsed against the door frame, one manicured hand pressed to her chest. Ryan's mouth opened and closed like a fish gasping for air. That's impossible, Ryan stammered. You haven't been around. You don't even come to family events. When would you? Thanksgiving, I said quietly, and Christmas and New Year's Eve. Every time Ryan had been too busy with work or too drunk to notice, I disappeared. Every stolen moment in Alexander's penthouse while the family celebrated below. Every whispered promise that we'd find a way to be together properly. You slept with my wife? Ryan's voice cracked. Alexander's laugh was cold. Your wife? The woman you've been cheating on since your honeymoon? The one whose calls you ignore while you're with your secretary? That wife? How dare you? I have photos, Ryan. Timestamps. Your secretary has quite the Instagram habit. Alexander's smile was predatory. But please continue playing the victim. He turned to me then, and his expression softened. Can you walk? I nodded, though I wasn't entirely sure. The stress, the cold, the rain, everything was making me dizzy. Good. He held out his hand. Let's go. You can't just take her. Patricia had found her voice again. She's married to Ryan. This is kidnapping. It's not kidnapping when she comes willingly, Alexander said. And as for the marriage, well, I think Ryan mentioned something about lawyers. I'm sure mine will be better. He helped me down the steps, holding the umbrella over me while rain soaked his probably thousand suit. The security guards stepped aside. Even they knew better than to challenge Alexander Rothwell. Your things? He asked, glancing at my pathetic suitcase. This is everything. His jaw tightened. We aren't greater than I'll buy you new things, Alex. I started, but he shook his head. Not now. Let's get you warm and dry first. He helped me into the Bentley, the leather seats soft as butter. I was probably ruining them with my wet clothes. But Alexander didn't seem to care. He closed my door and walked around to the driver's side, taking his time, letting his family watch from the porch. Alexander, Patricia shrieked. If you live with her, you're dead to this family. Do you hear me? Dead? He paused, looking back at her. I've been dead to this family for 5 years, Mother. The only difference is now you know why. He got in the car and started the engine. Through the rain-streaked window, I could see Ryan pushing past his mother, stumbling down the steps. Natalie, he shouted, you can't do this. You're my wife. Alexander lowered my window halfway. Not for much longer. Then he pulled away from the curb, leaving Therothwell Estate and all its poison behind. We drove in silence for several minutes. The heater kicked in, and I finally stopped shivering. My clothes were still soaked, clinging uncomfortably to my swollen body. How long have you known? I asked finally. That you were pregnant. Since music the day you found out. He glanced at me. You used my credit card at the pharmacy. I get notifications. I mean, how long have you known the baby was yours? Since the day you found out, he repeated. The timeline was obvious. Ryan hadn't touched you in months. He was too busy with Miranda, his secretary, among others. Alexander's hands tightened on the wheel. I hired a private investigator. I know everything, Natalie. Every woman, every lie. Every time he came home smelling like someone else's perfume, and you pretended not to notice. Tears burned my eyes. I thought if I got pregnant, if I gave him a family, maybe he'd love you. Alexander's voice was gentle. You can't make someone love you by giving them what they don't want. Then why didn't you say something? Why let me? Because you needed to see it for yourself. He pulled into an underground garage I didn't recognize. Because if I'd shown up 6 months ago claiming the baby was mine, what would you have done? Stayed with him out of duty. Tried to make it work for the sake of the family. He was right. I would have. I've been so desperate to make my marriage work to prove I belonged in their world. Besides, he added, killing the engine, I needed time to prepare. Prepare for what? For this. He gestured to the garage, which I now realized was attached to a building I definitely recognized. Welcome to Rothwell Tower. My Rothwell Tower, not the family's. 40 stories of steel and glass that I bought out from under them last year. My eyes widened. This is yours. Ours, he corrected. If you want it. He came around and helped me out of the car. An elevator took us up and up music until my ears popped. The doors opened directly into a penthouse that made the Rothwell estate look like a starter home. Floor-to-ceiling windows showcased Manhattan in all its rain-soaked glory. The space was modern but warm, all clean lines and rich textures. And there, in what would have been a second bedroom, was a fully assembled nursery. Alex, I breathed. I know it's presumptuous, he said quickly. I know I should have asked, but I wanted you to have somewhere safe, somewhere that was yours. No matter what happened, even if you decided to stay with him, music wanted. I kissed him. 8 months pregnant, soaking wet, probably looking like a drowned rat. And I kissed Alexander Rothwell like my life depended on it. When we finally broke apart, he rested his forehead against mine. I've loved you since the moment Ryan introduced us, he said quietly. 3 years of watching him treat you like an accessory. 3 years of biting my tummy at family dinners. When you came to me last Thanksgiving, crying because have forgotten your anniversary again. I couldn't do it anymore. We said it was just once. I reminded him just one night to forget. And then it was twice and 3 times. And then I was sneaking into my own family's parties just to steal 5 minutes with my brother's wife. He cupped my face gently. Music, I'm not proud of how this happened, Natalie. But I'm not sorry either. The baby is ours. Has always been ours. I've been to every appointment, even if he didn't know. Dr. Morrison is very accommodating when you donate a wing to her hospital. I stared at him. You've been following my pregnancy. Following, documenting, preparing. He led me to a desk where files were spread out. Custody agreements, divorce papers, trust funds. I told you I needed time to prepare. Ryan might be a lawyer, but I'm a CEO. I don't lose. This is insane, I said, sinking into a chair. Your mother will destroy us. The scandal. Let her try. Alexander knelt beside the chair, taking my hands. I spent 5 years building my empire specifically, so I'd never need them again. I'm worth 10 times what the family business is. We could buy our own island and never think about them again. Is that what you want? To run away? What I music want, he said carefully, is to raise our child without poison. To give you the life you deserve. To stop hiding how I feel about you. A contraction hit, sharp and sudden. I gasped, clutching my belly. Alexander was on his feet instantly. What's wrong? I think I panted. Your dramatic rescue might have triggered something. The baby. The baby? I confirmed as another contraction rolled through me. Alex, I'm only 8 months. Hospital now. He was already helping me up, grabbing keys, his phone. I've got you. We've got this. As we headed back to the elevator, my phone buzzed. Ryan finally realizing what he'd thrown away. I deleted the message without reading it. No regrets? Alexander asked, watching me. Just one, I admitted. What's that? I smiled through another contraction. I really like that laptop bag. He laughed, the sound filling the elevator. I'll buy you 100 laptop bags. Just one, I said. But maybe waterproof this time. 6 hours later, our son was born. Music Alexander held my hand through every contraction, whispered encouragement through every push, and cried when they placed our baby on my chest. He's perfect, he whispered. You're perfect. He's early, I corrected. But I was crying, too. Rothwell men are always impatient, Alexander said, gently touching our son's tiny fist. What should we name him? I thought about it. This baby who'd caused so much drama, who'd revealed so many truths, who'd brought me to where I belonged. Truth, I said. Let's name him something that means truth. Veritas, Alexander suggested. Too pretentious. Perfect, I decided. Veritas. Alexander Rothwell let his grandmother choke on the symbolism. Alexander kissed my forehead. I love you, both of you. All of you, even the messy parts, especially the messy parts. Outside the hospital window, the rain had stopped. Manhattan sparkled in the afternoon sun, washed clean and gleaming with possibility. My phone buzzed again. Patricia, this time, probably demanding answers or issuing threats. I handed the phone to Alexander. Throw it away, I said. I want a new number, a new life, a new everything. Are you sure? I looked at our son, at the man who'd stood in the rain to claim us, at the future spreading out before us like a promise. I've never been more sure of anything in my life. He smiled and tossed the phone in the trash. Then let's start over. You, me, and Veritas against the world. Against the Rothwells. You mean? Same thing, he said, and kissed me again. And in that moment, in that hospital room with our surprise baby and our complicated love and our uncertain future, I realized something Patricia Rothwell would never understand.